Hello viewers, this is Mitul here. Module 8 Advanced Query Concepts that we have started learning, and now we will be understanding about the transactions. Okay, so let us just focus on the module number 8.2.2 transactions for the lost update issues. So why and how this lost update happens, right? Like in the case like when one transaction like the DML transaction is not committed or say like uncommitted, and there is another transaction which is trying to access the same data, basically what is being updated or inserted by the first transaction, right? So in that case it will override that the first transaction will override the changes whatever that second transaction would do. So that is called an lost update. So how to fix that kind of an issue? To fix that issue, we need to use the isolation level called repeatable read, which will help us like locking that particular selected data for a read or write, so that until the end of the transaction the other transaction cannot do any operation onto that. Okay, so it fixes the dirty read, then lost update and non-repeatable read. All three of this kind of issue can be solved by the repeatable read isolation level. Only just one issue remains with repeatable read is phantom read, that we will understand in the subsequent session. But for now, understand that since there is no range lock applied onto that particular selected data, because of that only that phantom read happens. Okay, but for now all these three kind of an issue, or maybe the specifically for the lost update, we can use the repeatable read. All right, now syntax for that one will be very simple as it was for the earlier, like the set transaction isolation label repeatable read. Now let us just take an example to understand this issue basically, and then we will do the fix of the same. So to help you understand this scenario, I'm just creating a dummy table for this, like just a store items kind of thing. Okay, now if there is a table which is already present, and if that has a field called ID, item name, and then quantity, item price, and the amount. Now if this kind of a table is there, then we might need to add some items to the store, right? For that sake, like I'm just putting some values for bread, butter, and the jam. Okay, so now this all three values that we have inserted to the table, and now after that we want to look at the first record from that store particularly. So let us just see to it. All right, okay, so the first item name is bread, and then quantity and the price, and then the amount. Quantity into item price is equal to amount. Okay, so that is how I have added the records. Now we will try to first of all understand the lost update scenario. So to do that, I have written the isolation level read committed as even though if you do not write, that is also fine. It is like a default isolation level. Then we start the transaction by declaring the variable quantity with initial value as 0. Then fetch the particular ID 1 for a particular ID 1, whatever is the quantity. So for the ID 1, what was the quantity? Quantity was 20, right? So that quantity 20 is what we are storing into this variable. Then we are giving a wait for delay for 12 seconds. Then what we are doing is we are adding 10 more quantity into the existing quantity, meaning 12 was there plus 10, it will become 22, correct? So that 22 will be stored into the quantity while we will do an update, and whereas the amount cannot be remain same, right? Because it will be it will be product of the quantity and the item price. So for that sake, whatever is the quantity that we have updated, that we need to multiply, or say we need to apply the product to that for a particular item price. So product to that will be the amount. So that is also getting updated, and after we update that, we want to print the quantity, how the quantity got increased, right? So that is what we are mentioning there, and then we are committing the transaction after that. So let's just select this much part of the thing and copy, and then do the paste up to here, and then just say 1 second over here, maybe just to say like if we are doing something differently, and then we will try to say 7 instead of 10, okay, or maybe say 3. Okay, we just want to increase the quantity by 3 number. Okay, and let's just run both of these one by one. All right, so from here we will try to run up till here. Okay, so now it is started executing the transaction, and we will also execute this one as well, right? Yeah, so see, after we understood, right, like what has happened here. The quantity it is showing now is 23. Why? Because the earlier quantity was 20 and it has added 3 more to it, because there was a delay, very less period than the first transaction. This is the second transaction in which we are just adding 3 numbers in the quantity. So it has immediately updated the quantity as well as the amount for the particular item, and then shown us the, or say printed the quantity for us. So 20 plus 3 will be 23 in this case. Now once it is updated, after that we go back to the transaction number 1. Now within that transaction number 1, what has happened is, earlier it was having quantity as 20, and then 20 plus 10, it has added 10 to it, then it became 30, right? Now it is 30. So the quantity has become 30. So we will see what has happened now. Okay, let's just see to it. All right, so what we can see here is there is a quantity is updated with the first transaction update, but not with the transaction number 2. Transaction number 2 also has added 3 as a quantity, right? So 3 should also be required to be added, right? But that is not added here. So to do that, what we need to do is we need to fix this first of all. And to fix that, we basically need to change the isolation level here. So let's just change it first. Repeatable read, right? So that is the only keyword we need to change in this entire example, and then we will try to update again. Okay, and now we will select this, and we will select this as well. All right, but before we do, we need to revert the logic or the initial setup, right? So for that sake, I will just execute the update statement to revert back to the original quantity, amount, and the for the particular ID. Okay, so let's say the record is updated, and now we should see the correct record, right? So for the record number 1, what is the data? Bread is quantity 12D, and then item price is 40, and then amount is 800, right? Fine. So now let us just execute all of this together. So transaction 1 we will execute now, and then we will execute this one. Okay, and now we will see what are we getting in the result. See, this transaction has failed. Failed in the sense we can say like it's stopped basically executing it because of the deadlock issue. Now what is deadlock here is the moment this transaction number 2 was trying to access the data occupied or say selected by the transaction number 1, it could not read that data. Why? Because it has applied a lock onto it, to that resource, right? Basically for that table, for a particular records, it has applied a lock onto it. Because of that, it could not read or it could not even write to it. And because of that, it has applied the lock error onto this. Now let us just go back to original transaction and see like what has happened there. Did it update the rightly the quantity or not? So as we see, it has been updated with 30 as a quantity. So let's just double check to see whether it was successfully updated or not. Yeah, so it has updated 10 as 10 quantity into the original quantity, right? So we understand that, right? Like what is the difference now? So it has lost the update by the transaction number 2, but it has successfully updated the transaction number 1 update, right? Now it has not lost, we could say, but there is a scope that it has not collided or it has not caused any confusion, because it has avoided the confusion by applying this repeatable read isolation level. It has kept the unwanted updates happening to the original update, right? Or to the selected data. And now since the other transaction was failed, or say like it could not run successfully, so now what we will do is we will just rerun again the same thing and then see like if it will be updating by 3 as a quantity to it or not. Okay, so let's just see, right? So now the quantity has become 33, because earlier it was 30 plus 3 to it will make it 33, right? So the transaction ran successfully, right? Okay. So now this is how we will address the issue of the lost update, right? So we will understand the next issue in the next session. Thank you.